somehow Japan is making robotic grandkids for lonely grandparents.
Yeah. I want to hear your take on this because this could be controversial and it could be taken in many different ways, right? So you're going to take a big gulp of coffee and
The remainder of my dark roast is required.
hopefully describe what's
It's
going
their
on here.
dolls. They're not as intense as those real dolls. These look like regular dolls.
Yeah, just one.
Did you ever see those real looking dolls? I'm not even asking you to do that right now, but
Yeah.
that's a whole YouTube genre
Yeah.
of ones that look human. This one, at least. So these grandparents, they don't have grandkids, or they have grandkids, but they don't see them that often.
Yeah, something like that. Or it could just be a complete substitute for, a lack
And
of...
it talks. They're talking to it.
Yes. So it has a little bit of AI built in. It can understand who is talking and recognize facial features and detect that person. So it can also go to sleep if you hold it and rock it. But that's the extent of it.
It's funny.
It's not going to cook you dinner or anything.
Hey, man, that's exactly what I need. You know what's funny about this is that we see something like this
Yeah.
and we feel, uncomfortable, right? Because
Yeah.
it's very close to home. Like it's very, you see them holding the child here. But then if we were to simulate the whole thing and you were to play a video game in which you did this, like it's completely normal to play a video game where you're just shooting and killing people all day to escape your... But the minute they... It's a tough... It's weird the way we apply different rules in different scenarios. If it's completely virtual, it's like whatever, make believe, do whatever you want. If it's a movie, watch whatever you want. If it's Twitch that you were showing me earlier with the licking of the microphones that people are doing, it's like, okay, do whatever you want. That's your thing. Okay, go do that. But then it's like, oh, it's a granny playing with a doll. Now that's the weird one. Is it the weird one?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, is it? I mean, I'm not going to say for Japanese culture as a whole, but it does seem like
You don't have that many babies.
well, usually the seniors kind of just live alone, right? They live alone and they do things alone, and this. I'm obviously there's a reason why it's created, like this doll, right?
Well, for the record, I'm sure there's plenty of Japanese grandparents who do have
disclaimer.
Yeah, their grandkids and they have a wonderful thing going on. But you have a ratio issue, which we've talked about in the past as far as populations are concerned. You certainly have the upside down triangle. You have more old people than young people. So at some point, there's some old person who doesn't interact with young people, mathematically speaking. Not in all cases, but there certainly would be those cases. And then the question becomes, should they have a robotic talking grandchild?
And apparently this company feels like there's a need for it,
Yeah.
right?
We look at it and we feel, well, wouldn't it be nice if these grandmothers were able to interact with the real thing? We can't help it. Like you're always trying to, in your mind, create the ideal scenario. But in a funny way, not in a funny way, in another way of looking at it, is that alternative even realistic for these people? They're like, whatever their age is, they're 80 years old. It ain't happening. So there's the next best thing. And then I don't want to get in the way of that if it's giving them...
Not hurting anyone.
If it's helping them, I want to get in the way of that. But I think if you're asking me to zoom out, if you're asking me to like look at the big picture stuff, then I think my ideal scenario would not be this. My ideal scenario would be that they wouldn't need toy or the AI toy robot thing. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's tough. It's a tough call.
It's also because it's a human replacement too. It's
It
like
is,
if
yeah,
it was a
that's-
robot dog, we don't care. We're like, that's whatever.
But if it kind of looks like a human, it has human hair,
It's
and
also
it's affordable.
it's also like what if
You
you
know?
what if you were to do the same thing with all relationships? What if we all
Exactly.
lived
Like,
isolated
where's the line?
and our grandkids and our own friends and family, and if everything was like a robotic because it was easier than physically moving things around, or if it was some kind of a virtual version of it as well, it's still at some point you get that uneasiness because I know myself, I derive tremendous meaning from my interactions with people. Connection and being part of something and having relationships and things like this. So, but yeah, what can you do? Obviously, if there's a demand for it, then some people need it or want it. And $250, what do you think about the price?
I definitely think it's cheap.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
You know,
Not
you
like some-
just got to replace the batteries,
Can-
and then
can-
you're good to go.
Can we hear it talking at all?
I think it
Can we
might
put
be in this video.
Yeah, put a
here.
little audio on that. I'm
いい
just
ね子抱っこしたの何十年だったわすごい
いいおしゃべりで
よくわかるわね
凝ってない
凝ってるいいね
肩凝ってない
凝ってるよくわかる
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah, I
Sounds
got
like
it.
a kid.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I don't know. They have dolls, like dolls for kids do that stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Dolls for kids, they're talking and crying and they do all that stuff. I don't know, Will.
Who's to say?
Yeah, maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe it's fine. Well, I mean, they don't help us with the headline.
No.
When they hit
it's-
us it's the saddest news of the week.
Yeah. This was
Oh, isn't the saddest news of the week. So I don't know.